hand it over to Amanda Himes from Office of Civil Rights. She's the outreach manager, and she's going to talk a little bit about the certification process for folks that might be interested in becoming a DBE, as well as how you find DBEs if you're a prime, either a majority-owned firm or a DBE, and you want to work towards meeting those good faith efforts or those subcontracting goals.
Thank you, Kevin. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take over. Thank you. So again, my name is Amanda. I'm the outreach manager with the Office of Civil Rights. And today we are going to go over certification. This is going to be a very Cliff's Notes version of the certification benefits and eligibility. As Bob mentioned previously, we have an event calendar which has training opportunities where, you know, we'll take a little bit more time and do a little bit deeper dive into the certification process. However, we did want to give you an overview today so that if you are interested in getting certified and taking the next steps, we can show you the road to get there. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so Caltrans recognizes 3 different types of certifications. I do want to first start off by saying you do not need to be certified in order to work with Caltrans. However, there are benefits as stated previously. So some of the benefits we're going to go over, but first I wanted to differentiate the 3 different certifications. Again, Bob is on top of things. He explained that we have federal dollars and we have state dollars. So our federally funded projects, which have any amount of federal dollars, so even $1 of federal money mixed in with state money, it becomes a federally funded project. Those are our disadvantaged business enterprise project goals. And the goal statewide overall is 17.6%. So, you know, a project could have a 5% goal, a 10% goal, but overall for the entire fiscal year for the state, we aim to reach that 17.6% goal. We also have 2 other certifications, and these are going to be on state funded projects. So again, when the project funding is only state dollars, that's our small business and small business for public works certification, which again has an overall goal of 25%. And then our disabled veteran business enterprise goal, which is 3% for the state, but Caltrans takes it a little bit further and we say we have a 5% aspirational goal. And it looks like we're having some issues with the slides. So but I won't go any further until we can make sure everyone can see the slides. Okay, so I see someone is seeing the slides. Okay, so it looks like we're good. And also right up at the top, there's an option to make your screen full right next to the white, between the white and the black. So if you click that, it might show your screen. So looks like everyone can see them. So we'll go ahead and move forward. If you can go to the next slide. Okay, so some of the benefits of the DBE certification. Again, we love our acronyms here at the state. So DBE again is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So with this certification, you get recognized by 600 local agencies and private companies in California as well as other states. Again, since this is a very short version, I don't have the slide here, but we do have a interstate certification where you can use your certification here in California to kind of jump the line in other states to get certified there. So we will put a link in the chat for more information about that interstate certification. I believe Rose in the chat mentioned being certified in Texas. So again, it's just another way that this certification helps you to possibly make it a little bit easier to get certified in other states. On top of that, it also expands opportunities to participate on federally funded contracts, as we discussed in the previous slide. You also become accessible to prime contractors needing to fulfill their DBE participation goal requirements, which was stated previously as well. And you increase your opportunity to network at events such as our pre-bid meetings for construction. We have procurement fairs. We have a lot of different networking opportunities. Of course, a lot of them were in person and now everything's gone virtual. But I will tell you about that at the end and how you can get connected there. You also get listed in our official, again, here we go with the acronyms, CUCP database. So that's the California Unified certification program, and basically it is the DBE program. That's what the database for the whole program. So any of our DBEs, which we have about a little over 5,000 DBEs in our database right now, and that's statewide, all industries. So you can see why being DBE certified with such a small pool gives you great opportunities for not only Caltrans work, but work with all the other agencies that accept the certification. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So now I'm going to go over the eligibility requirements. So you must be at least 51% owned by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. And here in the slide, it's explained that the US DOT defines socially and economically disadvantaged as any individual who has been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice or cultural bias within American society because of his or her identity as members of groups and without regard to his or her individual qualities. So again, we do have some presumptive disadvantaged groups, which include Asian Pacific, Black, Hispanic, Native American, Subcontinent Asian, and women. So if you're not part of those groups, but you can prove that you're socially and economically disadvantaged, you could apply for certification. Again, we do have a very thorough process. So there is the option if you're not one of those groups, but per US DOT, those are the presumptive disadvantaged groups, which were also on the slide from the disparity study. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay. And I just wanted to point out too that the DBE application link was put into the chat. If you would like to jumpstart that, the link is there for you. I'm also going to add really quickly the DBE certification brochure that can help you walk you through the process if you do decide to do that today. There's another resource for you just added to the chat. So there are some more eligibility requirements beyond the socially and economically disadvantaged status. So you do have to have 3-year average gross receipts that do not exceed 23.98 million in general. It also varies by certain industries. However, if you have less than 3 years gross receipts, that's fine as well. Just if you're an established business, they go off of the 3 years. Your personal net worth of the disadvantaged majority owner cannot exceed 1.32 million. Again, there are a couple of caveats with that we would go over in our extended DBE certification workshop, but one that I can think of off the top of my head that does take that down a little bit is that does not include your personal residence. And then the owner's duties must include managerial and operational control of the business, and they must the owner must possess the required licenses if needed for the type of field that you're working in or the type of codes that you're using there. And then you must be an independent business. You cannot be affiliated with another firm. So franchises, that's a great example of you wouldn't be able to get DBE status if you're part of a franchise. So we'll go to the next slide.